What up, friends? Geoff Fienberg back with you talking more Olympics golf for oddschecker.com/US. I got a lot to say. I'm excited to keep talking about the Olympics, give you my final thoughts on the Olympic golf tournament. But before I do, I must remind you that oddschecker.com/US is giving away a free USA golf hoodie. Oh, it looks fire. I'd enter myself if I could. But according to contest rules, it's illegal. I'm an employee. I've just got to go into the shop myself. Happy to do it. Fire hoodie available from us at oddschecker.com/US. A free gift from us to you. All you got to do to enter is go find that video I did with Rick Gehman at Rick Run Good on Twitter. It's in my Twitter feed. It's in his Twitter feed. It's in the Odds Checker Twitter feed that I have retweeted, that Rick has retweeted. Nonetheless, my video preview for Olympic golf with Rick Gehman up on the oddschecker.com/US YouTube page. All you got to do is smash the like button on that video. Subscribe to the Odds Checker feed. The channel, so our videos drop right into your feed each week, and leave a comment. Tell us who you think is going to win gold at the Olympics, and you will be entered to win a free USA golf hoodie from us at oddschecker.com/US. And honestly, me and Rick did a banger video already, so we talked more in depth about the event. So go check that out if you already haven't. I have my main outright picks in that video. Looking to discuss more golf here. I'm looking to freestyle it. I love doing those videos with Rick. Rick keeps things on the track. We get through the field. We get through the picks. I don't lose my mind. Well, Odds Checker's still giving me an opportunity to lose my mind. Because they're like, no, we don't want to lose that other video you do. You can do whatever you want. Just throw out some more picks and some props. So I got a lot to say. And if you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I got myself into a bit of a firestorm discussion yesterday debating the Olympics. And before I get into it, let me say as a precursor, I have wagered on Siwoo Kim to win gold at the Olympic Games. I bet it 70-1. I'm in on Siwoo. I'm in for Narrative Street. I'm a big Siwoo fan, like all of you. I'm here for the narrative as it pertains to the South Koreans. It's not a narrative. It's very real. Betting one of them to win, obviously, you could say is, involves you're almost betting on a narrative. I've done that with Siwoo this week. I like him that much. But I need to make something perfectly clear for people who seem to be confused about the issue. There are way too many people in this niche corner of golf Twitter internet that actually believe a front-end proven player would gas can a putt on the very last hole to get Siwoo Kim or Sung Jae Im a bronze. Now, quickly, I'll just throw it out there. A medal for either of those two gentlemen would allow them to not have to do mandatory South Korean military service for 2 years from the ages of 28 to 30. Okay, I couldn't imagine doing it myself, but that is something that they do in South Korea. And by all accounts, I assume some people take pride in serving their country. It sucks for a pro golfer to have to get up and leave in the middle of it. That being said, I think anyone who thinks that a Rory McIlroy, a Justin Thomas don't care about a bronze and would glad hand a South Korean millionaire a medal, I think they've lost their minds. I truly do. Any player who does not, they all go with the concept, I want to win gold. But when you go to the Olympic Games, it's far bigger than just gold. I think you take great pride in silver, in bronze, in walking through an Olympic village, in seeing the pride that these other athletes are taking in their bronze. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fool. Sometimes I am. Not on this issue. A fourth place to Rory McIlroy, he'll get over it. He'll be in Memphis next week. He's got WGCs. These guys are so flush with cash, they'd get over a fourth place. A lot easier than, say, a kayaker would handle fourth place. And, the margins of missing out on a medal. But I absolutely believe no one is handing over podium position for a South Korean millionaire. In fact, to even consider that, I think you've lost all grasp on how cutthroat the world of golf truly is. These elite players have been shattering dreams. Right? His finishing move, shattering dreams, shattered dreams. What do you think Rory McIlroy's been doing to people his entire life? Shattering dreams, taking away their rights to tour cards, winning the tournaments that could have given that guy an exemption, who needed it a lot more than Rory McIlroy or a Justin Thomas. Why on earth would anyone go to Tokyo just a couple weeks before the FedEx Cup to hand a South Korean a medal that they didn't earn? It's impossible. I know it's a hypothetical, but the fact that people believe it's possible, and too many of them, have kind of driven me up a wall. So there, I said my piece on that. People talk about these South Koreans like they're true amateurs. Like Im and Kim aren't multimillionaires. It would suck. It would suck. But I'm telling you, like, golf fans care way more about this story than the weekly PGA Tour locker room, where it's cutthroat. It is cutthroat. Guys come in and out, year in, year out, week in, week out. There, I said my piece on that. Let's have more fun. Let's get to the props. I'm truly excited about this Olympic golf tournament. Lots of value using that odds checker grid. Do not ignore it. Get it right out of the way. Top 20, Mackenzie Hughes, plus 150 available at FanDuel. Mackenzie Hughes has showed up in a lot of big events this year. I would see this being no different. Am I expecting a win for Mackenzie? No. Am I expecting a T5 for Mackenzie? That would be a big ask. But he has flirted with leaderboards and strong fields all season long. The pride of Canada. Well, you know, one of the two members of Team Canada, I guess, in this event. I expect him to have a great one. And not only that, there's value on that odds checkerboard. Plus 150 on the T20 when using FanDuel. Using that grid, we see it as low as minus 136. I don't want to embarrass myself with a math take, but that sounds big. That's a discrepancy I want to take advantage of. Furthermore, they're using odds checker. We find even more value on Mackenzie Hughes, friends, or we make sure we're getting that best number. A T10 on DraftKings for Mackenzie Hughes, plus 450. Some books offering plus 200 on the exact same wager. That's why we love odds checker. All these books, they got the same bets. What they don't got is the same odds. So we have found a nice little opportunity as it presents to Mackenzie Hughes, T10, T20. Sticking with the T20, I'm riding Sebastian Munoz, plus 190. That one's on FanDuel at the odds checker grid. This comes in as low as plus 100. Again, what an opportunity. Same bet, nearly double the payout. I like Sebastian Munoz this week. I should probably be more bullish on Sebastian Munoz this week, to be perfectly honest. There are probably opportunities for Sebastian as high as T10, maybe even T5. The guy's a lingerer. He loves to linger. He loves to linger on leaderboards or just outside leaderboards. T20 feels like a cinch for a guy like Seabass. Loves a classical tree-line golf course, which by all accounts, this one is, so he should fit right at home, you know, on this type of course. Just, he had a great week in Detroit a couple weeks ago. You just continue to see these solid performances from a guy like Munoz. And you know, it's been said everywhere. This is a 60-man field. We got 25 chumps. I'm expecting Munoz to be on the right side of those the 35 that I believe have an actual pulse in this thing. T20, Sebastian Munoz. If you want to be more bullish on Munoz, I wouldn't besmirch that one bit. I'm here for a big week for Sebastian Munoz. Now, sticking with a couple players who I have been quite supportive of in all my Olympic content, going back to before odds drops. The team from Belgium, we'll start with Thomas Dietrich, plus 180 for that top 20 on DraftKings, minus 110, as low as minus 110. Again, same bet, nearly double the odds. I want to bet Dietrich. You better believe that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to take those absolute best numbers when using that odds checker grid, an invaluable resource. And as Ricky and I mentioned, a lot of the books are lost on this event, and I've seen more discrepancy in odds from, in this event compared to your week in, week out event. So yeah, so odds checker, I guess, has become more important. And I tell you, in my lead up preparations for this event, it allowed me to identify some great numbers that I was able to get on before, the field went upside down. Me and Rick talked about that, but anytime a golf event has odds up before the week of, odds checker's like my favorite website in the world. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an employee. I use that site well before they ever asked me to make a single piece of content for them. So I have no problem waxing poetic about how important and useful I believe odds checker is. So back to the Belgians. Dietrich, T2 in Scotland, T2 in Germany. He is my European Tony Finau. That's a good thing if you're betting placings, right? If you're betting placings, it is a good thing. All the guy does is place. Win, that would be hard. I wouldn't be too shocked, though. I'm not much of a believer, and I do believe there's a course fit in Japan for both Belgiums, and that's why we're not just on Dietrich T20, we're on Dietrich T10, plus 450 on that odds checker grid, and we're supplementing that with Thomas Pieters, plus 450 for the T10. Pieters' floor to me is like lower, so maybe I should be there on the T20 on Pieters, but again, I believe his floor is lower. A bad week can be worse for Pieters. So I'm sort of banking on more of like the ceiling on Pieters, the ceiling performance in the 70 to 1s for the outright is something I'm going to be on as well. So I've got both Belgiums. Dietrich had a nice fancy triple digits from before the odds flipped, and I'm going to even support Thomas Pieters at the current numbers. Before I get into my final prop, and it should be no surprise to you, I actually do want to make a point that I feel has kind of not been discussed or been totally overlooked. People have looked at the odds board this week and scoffed at it, and I get it. Like, there are a lot of low numbers out there, and it's hard to sort of make the investment on those numbers. But I would stress, in my opinion, and I'm wrong a lot, but in my opinion, I think there's actually some serious value in some of those numbers at the top. Now, what I mean by that is, let's just take Justin Thomas as an example, who I really do like this week. I almost bet him. My money's on Vic. You watch that video with Rick and I, but Justin Thomas could overpower a place like this. My point being, Justin Thomas using that odds checker grid is like 11, 12 to 1 this week to win this golf tournament. At a WGC, Justin Thomas would be like 18, 16, maybe 20, even say the Open Championship, which no one thought was that great of a fit for him. He was what, 20 to 1? So now he's like 11 or 12, or even 10 would be acceptable. My point being is, if he's 20 at a full field where everyone is freaking there, and by everybody, like, you know what I mean by everybody, not this. This is like way less than half of everybody who we like weekly. So getting like a 20/11, I think is still totally fair. And I could argue that's value. Xander Schauffele, he's 9 to 1 this week. He was like 16 to 1 to win the Open Championship. Now, we could debate whether that was right, but that was the number. So if you bet Xander at that number against that field with literally everybody, like everybody, how is like getting him at 9 versus needing to beat 15 golfers like not a fair number? So I think the numbers are fair. The only one you could argue is really like not fair potentially is Colin, but he won. And I only say that based on his like Open Championship number was 35 to 1. So he's taken a huge slash, but he's the winner and he's the one in form and he's the one that's having this magical year that very well could continue. And winning, when you just win winning in Florida at the Concessions WGC, winning the Open Championship, like this guy can clearly win anywhere in the world. He just won his second Lynx start ever, and it was the goddamn Open Championship 4 days after saying he didn't like how his irons felt against the turf. Whew! What a magic, man. Clearly, I am a fool because I've been expecting Victor to do what Colin has done. If you watch my videos, you know, week in, week out, you know, we get to these huge tournaments. Now, it was fun earlier in the year where we could bet Victor at like bigger numbers. There are no more big numbers on Victor. He's amazing and he's consistent. That's it. That's it. And I did make a move on him this week. I bet him early. I bet him late. I don't care. I'm all in on Victor this week. And I also bet him exotic. And you know what's coming next, folks. Victor Hovland to win by 3 or more strokes. I am getting 45-1 at Will Hill on this bet. Now, I actually might have created a market of bets because DraftKings Sportsbook has also offered this bet, but they've got like 26-1 on something. I'm getting like 45-1 over at Will Hill. I have also stomached Victor to win by 2 strokes. I feel like my 3-stroke claim could be a little greedy. For that, I have 22-1. His odds to win the event are 12-1. I'm quite confident if he wins, it's going to be more than a stroke. So I've got those Victor exotics to win by 2 strokes at 22-1, to win by 3 strokes or more at, and that's not 2 exact. That's 2 or more or 3 or more. And the 3 or more is 45-1. So I've bet both of those. And I will just say, if you've watched my video, I have been adamant all year. Victor Hovland was going to give us a hello world moment. Colin keeps getting them. But I thought about it. I predicted this hello world moment for Victor Hovland. What a better stage for hello world than the freaking Olympic Games. Nothing says hello world in sport more than the Olympics. So Victor Hovland, I am here with you this week. I had a lot of fun recording this video. Don't forget, enter that contest for the free hoodie. The information is in my feed. I'll retweet it, Rick's feed, Odds Checker feed. But to remind you, go to the Odds Checker YouTube page, watch the video Rick and I did previewing the Olympics. Like that video, sub to the channel, leave a comment who you think is going to bring home gold. You are entered in a contest to win a free USA Golf hoodie from us here at Odds Checker. Hope everyone has a great Olympic golf week. We got some primetime golf. We'll be back next week previewing the WGC Memphis St. Jude, which was the first event I ever previewed for Odds Checker last year, where we had a Brooks lost at the end to JT. So looking forward to talking Memphis next week. Until then, I'm going to enjoy the Olympics. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Thank you for supporting oddschecker.com/US. I'm out.